Hello, my name is Chinwendu Ndubisi. I'm a software testing instructor. Today I'm going to teach 3 topics on software testing. Please, if you like my teaching, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Chinwendu Ndubisi, and click the red button so that whenever I do my video, you will get it. Back to my tutorial today. I have 3 topics that I'm going to teach today, which is known as the definition of software testing, types of software testing, why software testing is important. Why do you think that software testing is very, very important in our lives, in our community, in our country, in every area that we are? Why do we think is important? And come to think of it, what software is all about, because when you say software, some people, they don't know what software is all about. So today we are going to treat on what software is all about. I have the definition here, the definition of software testing, which is known as the process of verifying a system with the purpose of identifying any errors, gaps, or missing requirements and the actual requirements. Software testing is a way to assess the quality of a software. If you want to know the quality of a software testing, if you really want to know the quality of a software, you have to conduct a test on each software. You have to conduct a test on each software for you to know if this software really okay or if it's not. So software testing is a way to assess the quality of a software to reduce the risks of software failure in operation. What do we mean by this? For example, when a developer develops a software and hand it over directly to the users, it's likely that the software might not work, because for such software to function properly, in order to satisfy users, it has to undergo a rigorous testing. So that's why software testing is very, very important in every developing organization. You can't just develop something and hand it over to the users. What if when it gets there, the software couldn't work? So that's why we also have some impact. Like when a software fails to work, there are some impacts when the software fails to work, it has some damages in an organization. When a developer develops a software, the software is not going to be given directly to the user. It undergoes a very, very rigorous testing to reduce the risks of failure that can occur, and also to find defects. These are the reason why we conduct testing on a software, and also to reduce the defect and the risks that associates with the software. And this process of checking if there is any problem on that such software is known as testing. Finding defects in the software, it increases the quality of the software. Yes, when you go to buy any kind of, let me say you buy something like washing machine or mobile phones, when you check it and you discover that you buy it and you use it, it doesn't have any problem, doesn't give you any kind of problem, everything is functioning properly and everything is going well, that increases the quality of such software. You can as well introduce such software to anyone, to your friends, to anyone who is interested on such software. Yes, just like when you get something that is good for you, you can boldly say it to anyone that I've used this and it's very, very okay, it's very, very lovely, it works fine, it's functioned properly. So that's why software testing in manufacturing control of software testing is very, very, very important. So we are going to 2 types of software testing. Yes, when a product is being developed let me just say, before the development, these are the 2 things a tester look into. functional testing and non-functional testing on a software. You have to check the functional area and the area that are not functioning, because when a test is being conducted on a software, a tester still have to check, like let me say, when a product is being built and a test is being conducted on such software, if there's any problem that occur on such software, the tester have to pass the information. The tester have to conduct, if there is any problem after testing the software, the tester have to send back the information to the developer, and the developer will go through it, check it, and see where the problem is. If the problem is from the code, you have to fix it. Wherever the problem is, the developer have to check wherever the problem is and fix it and take it back to the tester. The tester still have to check if the problem has been fixed, and also to know if that problem that was fixed, if it didn't affect any other area of such software. So there's so many work to be done as a tester in a software. But these two types, I'm not going to explain this, is a topic on its own. Next time when I do my teaching, I'm going to teach on it. I explain more about this functional testing and non-functional testing. Let's go to the types of software testing that may be used to test a software during software development lifecycle. Software development lifecycle is also a topic on its own. In that place, we have like 4 phases of developing a software. We have the one they call V model. That is after developing a software, and you need some maintenance on such software. You need a kind of maintenance on that software. You use the V model. Then you also have the one they call Agile Model. Agile Model is that one when developing a product, it has like up to, let me say, it is being done phase by phase. Like we have the first phase, we have the second phase, we have the third phase. The first phase, after building the first phase of the product, you have to send it to the owner to check. After testing, you also conduct tests on it, then you send it to the owner to check if there is any other thing that the owner, any other requirement or anything that the owner of the product needs to add to such a software. The owner will have to let the organization or the developer to know about that, and they can fix it in before going to the next production, the next development. So and also we also have the one they call incremental development. We have sequential model. So we'll still go to that. This is a topic on its own. So today, 2 types of software testing that may be used to test a software during software development lifecycle model. The tool that is used in testing each of those models is known as manual testing and the automation testing. We all know the meaning of what's manual, something that is being done manually. What is all about? This means testing a software manually without using any automated tool or script. You test this software without using any automated tool or script. Here, the tester takes over the role of an end user and tests the software to identify any unexpected behavior or bug. That is all about for manual testing. Then different stages in manual testing. There's different stages that we can conduct manual testing, which are unit testing, integration testing, system testing, and user acceptance testing. This also, there's a topic in software testing in this course that is known as level of testing, 4 level of testing. The same thing with these different stages in manual testing. If you're doing your manual testing, unit testing has to do, for example, like let me say if you are manufacturing a car or a mobile phone, We have different kind of particles. We have let me use phone for example. We have the earpiece, we have the keyboard, we have the speaker, we have the screen. Different models is made up of different models. So unit testing, when a developer is on unit testing, because it's been done by the developer. So when a developer is developing a product or a software, the tester conduct tests on each of them. Like when the developer manufacture the earpiece, the tester have to conduct a test on it, right from the coding of the software to the final production of such software. From the keyboard, the earpiece, the screen, everything are all about that software. One after the other, the tester have to conduct testing on it. Integration testing is also the interface, the interaction of the models, the building process, that is integration testing. The building process of such software. The tester also is involved conducting tests on each of them. System testing, this has to do with the testing of the whole system after building the software, like after building of the phone or whatever the developer is building. The tester have to conduct tests, like when a car is being after building a car, the tester have to check if the car works perfectly. You have to test run to check drive round to see if every part of the vehicle is working perfectly. Then the user acceptance testing. This one it has to do with the users. They have to check whatever they are going to buy to know if it satisfy their needs, if it's actually what they want, if it's actually what they like. If they're okay, they will get it and they will be happy about it. Testers use test plan, test case, and test scenario to test software to ensure completeness of testing, and manual testing also include exploratory testing because testers explore the software in order to identify error in it. So if you want to conduct a test on a software, the tester uses what they call test plans or test case. You have to use test plan or test case or test scenarios. So and they need to explore such software in order for them to identify the errors on it. Then second types of software testing is automation testing. Here the tester write script. We all know what automation is all about. Something that has to do with automatic. You run it automatically and it serves so fast and quickly. So here the tester write script and use another software to test the product. Automation testing is used to rerun the rest scenarios that were performed manually, quickly and repeatedly. Automation testing is used to test the application from the load performance and stress point of view. It increases test coverage. That is all about automation testing. It helps the testers so much to make their work more easier and faster. Then these are the tools that I use for automation testing, which are known as HP Quick Test Professional, Selenium, IBM Rational Functional Tester, Seek Test, Test Complete, Testing Anywhere. All these tools, I will explain it in my next teaching. Then the next one is what to automate in the software testing. Which area do you think that a tester can automate? Because it's not possible for you to automate everything in a software. It's not possible. You cannot check everything in a software. So you have to go to the main place, the main and important place, which are known as the area where a user can make transactions such as login form or registration forms. That is for business organization that uses software like a ticket booking system, supermarket billing system, and the office. So you have to check this area, the area which a user can make transactions such as login form or registration forms. Then another one, the area where users can access the software. Yes, the area where users can, as a where where much users can access the software. So these are the areas that you have to check fast, that as a tester that you have to check very very fast. The area which a user can make transactions such as login form or registration forms, the area where much users can access the software. Then when to automate a software, when do you think that as a tester, when when do you think is the right time for you to automate a software? Is known as one, the large and critical projects. The large and critical projects that require testing. Yes, these are when the area that that needs to be automated in a software. Requirement not changing frequently, assessing the application for load and performance with many virtual users. Stable software with respect to manual testing, availability of time. Then how to automate. Automation is done by using a supportive computer language like VB scripting and an automated software application. Then processes that are used to automate the testing are knowing the area of the software that need automation. You have to know the area of the system that need automation. Selection of appropriate tool for test automation. You have to select the appropriate tool for that area of problem that you want to look into. You select the appropriate tool for it. Write your test scripts as a tester. Develop a test script. Execution of scripts. Create result reports. After checking all those things, you have to create your report, and that's it. Then now we are going to the third topic of our tutorial today, which is known as why software testing is required. Why do we need to do software testing in every product being manufactured by a developer? Why do we think that software testing is necessary? Software testing is required like in business application, such as a ticket booking, just like when I mentioned before, ticket booking system, supermarket billing system. When you go to supermarket, you want to buy, you bought something, a receipt is being given to you. All those things are software that are working. So software is very very important, like a customer product, like a washing machine, mobile phones. So why do we think that we need software testing? Why do we think that software testing is required? Software testing is very very important because when a product is being manufactured, just like as I said earlier, and a developer manufactured a product and hand it over to the users, it's likely that the software will not work at the end. And when a user purchase something that doesn't work for him or her, they will not be happy to patronize such people. This can cause a lot of time wasting for such developing company. It can cause loss of money. It can cause a damage to company reputation. Yes, it can cause damage to company reputation. People will see the company as a company that doesn't know what they are doing. It can cause injury if software testing is not conducted on a software. If testing is not conducted on a software, it can cause a lot of problem. It can cause loss of money, loss of time wastage, damage to company reputation, death. So these are the impacts of a lack of testing in a software. So all this contains a software within them. So they are all these things that I've mentioned, they have software on them. So therefore, as a user, your expectation should be that the software work as expected. And for the software to work as expected, testing is required and is very very important. Testing in the developing organization development organization of a software, testing is very, very, very important. Testing is very, very important because, just for example, this Ethiopia airline that crashed, was it not 2 years ago, that about 154 people, everybody itself, not even the total number of people, 154 people lost their life. So that's why I say it can cause death. It can damage company reputation. When you purchase something that is not, that you at the end it didn't work, you will not be able to. Some people say they will destroy such company, they will spoil the company's name and all that. So lack of testing, it causes problem. Testing is very, very important. Software to work as expected. Testing is required and important because software testing is to assess the quality of a software. Yes, software testing is to assess the quality of a software. You want to buy something now, something that you love so much, you have to check it. Even as a users, they check it. This thing, does it work? They have to. Some people that knows more about the product they are buying, they have to check it. This thing, does it work? Is it okay? Is it functioning well? How is it? And how does it look like? So software testing, it helps the quality of a is required and important because software testing is to assess the quality of a software and to reduce the risks of software failure in operation. Yes, software testing is very, very important. Testing a software is very, very important. It helps you to know the quality of the software. It also help to reduce the errors, the defects, the bug that are found in operations. So software testing is very, very important. It's very, 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 very important. So what happens if a software does not work correctly? This is another lovely question. What happens if a software does not work correctly? Software testing that does not work correctly is known as a faulty software, and this can cause, just like as I said before, loss of money, time, reputation, and injury or death. Example I gave you, Ethiopia airline, people lost their life. So testing is very, very important in an organization. It's very, 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 very important. Testing is very, very important. Any company that manufacture a product without conducting a proper testing on it, when it gets to the final users, it can cause problem. I've seen so many of them, so many examples of people who manufacture things. Some they even manufacture something like is it phone or the phone or something like video or something like that. So when it's a kind of cassette, a kind of CD something, then in a particular place the video could not play. It could not play due to environment. Yes, sometimes environment also affects software not to function properly. So it depends. You have to do even if the product is being manufactured, you can use it yourself to see if actually after test you can still use it to know that, could take it to every different area to see if the software function properly so that it won't cause any problem at the end. So I'm going to end my teaching here today. So when next we meet again, we're gonna continue our teaching, our tutorial from there. Please, if you like my teaching, subscribe to my YouTube channel Chinwendu Ndubisi, and also click the red button so that whenever I got a new tutorial, you will be able to learn more. I'm going to end my teaching here today. See you in my next video. Bye bye. Hello. Last time I made a video about the definition of software testing, and I listed some kind of different types of software testing, and also I mentioned the types of software testing, manual, which are known as manual testing, and automation testing. Then I also listed some tools that are used in conducting automation testing and all that. Then I said when next I come on my teaching, I'm going to explain more about the types of software testing, which are known as functional testing and non-functional testing. So that is what I'm going to treat today. I'm going to treat on functional testing and non-functional testing. Software testing is a wide course. So I'm going to take it bit by bit so that you can be able to understand it very well and follow along. Please, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please try and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Chinwendu Ndubisi, and hit the red button so that when I release my new videos, you'll be able to continue to learn more from this teaching. Like as I said, today I'm going to treat on functional testing and non-functional testing. Then later on when we meet, there are some other things as well that I will still teach, but I'm not going to cover all today. I will just go on the explanation of this functional testing and non-functional testing. The two is like three types of, let me just say three types of software testing, which is listed here. Is functional testing, non-functional testing, and maintenance testing. But in my last video that I made, I listed two. So what I have here is three, but today I'm going to treat just the two of it, functional testing and non-functional testing. Now, as a software tester in a developing organization, immediately the draft of the products of the product is ready, the tester have to start with functional testing and non-functional testing. The functional testing here, it says that is a type of software testing that validates the software system against the functional requirements, specifications, and the purpose of functional testing is to test each function of the software application by providing appropriate inputs, verifying the output against the functional requirement. So the main test on functional testing is to check those areas of a system, to check every area, if every area of the system is working well, is functioning well. Through functional testing, we address what the system should do. That is the work that is being done on a functional. When you are testing in a functional testing, you have to functional testing. You have to address what the system should do. Functional testing mainly involves black box testing, and it is not concerned about the source code of the application. This testing checks user interface, database, security, client/server communication, and other functionality of the system. So in functional testing, we check how the system behaves, and for us to know how the system behaves, that is where we use what is called black box testing. Here, it's not interested on how the code was built. What they are interested is the behavior of the software. After the software has been built, how does it behave? When you click press what is expected for you to do. For example, let me say a car, maybe the window screen of the car. There are some car that you use a remote. If you want to press the button goes up. When you press the button comes down. These are the behavior of a software. So during functional testing, we address what the system should do. Yes, that is what we do in functional testing. We address what the system should do. And in functional testing, we have in functional testing, we get our functional testing requirement from the following. That's when we want to conduct a functional testing. There are some requirements from the following document that we use in conducting functional testing, which are known as EPIC, business requirement, business requirement specifications, epics, user stories, use cases, and functional specifications. All these things that I've listed here, I'm still gonna explain them one after the other. That will be my next tutorial. Then, what do you test in a functional testing? What do you think that as a tester, what do you think that you can test in functional testing? Yes, been saying functional testing. What's functional testing? What do we test on a functional testing? The prime objective of functional testing is checking the functionalities of the software system. It mainly concentrates on mainline functions, testing the main functions of an application. Yes, the work of a functional testing. You test, you have to test the main functions of an application, the main things, the main areas, the most important place. You check it if everything is working accordingly. Then another one of it is basic usability. It involves basic usability testing of the system. It checks whether the user can freely navigate through the screens without any difficulties. That was what I explained before. Just like there are some cars that is being built. Like if you want to everything about the made up of the car, for you to operate it, it has a button that you can use to control such car. Like if you want the windows of the car, the window screen to go up, it goes up. When you press it, it goes up. When you press it, it goes down. And so many every other areas too. So these are the examples of functional testing. Then another one of it is accessibility. Here we check the accessibility of the system for the user. As a software tester, you check the accessibility for the user. If the user is going to use this software, will it be easy for him or her to use it? Will it be okay? Will it be easy to operate? Then another one is the error condition. Usage of testing techniques to check error condition. It checks whether suitable error message are displayed. Yeah, you still have to check if error messages are being displayed. Like when a user is using a software, there sometimes you'll be asked to give you some instructions or let me say, or a method to operate in a software. But as a user, when you are doing it, if what you are doing is not right, maybe the process you are doing is not right, there's some message that usually comes up. So these are the work of a software tester. You have to check when the user does something like this with something, maybe when the person use this software in a wrong way, at least you have to set up something that can be able to, let me say, a pop-up message that will display that to the user that he or she is in a wrong place. Then how to do functional testing. How do we do functional testing? Following is a step-by-step process on how to do functional testing. Understand the functional requirements. Yes, you have to understand the requirement. Identify test input or test data based on requirements. Compute the expected outcomes with selected test input values. Execute test cases. Compare actual and computed expected results. Then, now the question is, where can we perform functional testing? Yes, where can we perform functional testing? Functional testing can be performed at all test level. At all test level. Yes, test level. We have a unit testing, which is known as component testing. We have integration testing. We have system testing, and we have acceptance testing. So functional testing is performed on every one of them, from component testing to the acceptance testing. That is how software functional testing is being performed. If you are at component level, then component specification is your requirement. Yes, that's when you are conducting your testing on each level of software testing. If you're on component level, component specification will be your requirement. If you're on system level, system specification will be your requirement. And there's something that I would like you to know as well. Functional testing, for you to perform functional testing, it requires a special knowledge in performing functional testing. Functional testing requires a special knowledge, and the software that requires functional testing are known as theological model software for the oil and gas industry. Functional testing requires a special knowledge, and the software that requires functional testing are theological model software for the oil and gas industry. For you to be a tester on functional testing, it requires a special knowledge. As a tester, you have to focus on knowing how the system behave, and also you have to have a very, very critical eye to be able to find out when there is an error on a particular system. Focus of testing is different at different level. Yes, this one is a very, very important point here. Focus of testing is different at different level. The way you conducted tests on component testing is different from the way you conducted tests on integration testing. The same thing applicable to system testing and also acceptance testing, because in component testing it has to do with models. Different kind of models. Just like in my previous video that I did, I explained that component testing is a process whereby the developer, when the product is being developed from the scratch. For example, like a car, when you see the car, before you develop a car, you will see different particles, different models. You will see the engine, the radio side, the AC, the air conditioning, you have different areas, different parts of a models, of a particles. So the way, and in component testing, to conduct tests as a tester, you test every area of this product to know if every area of it is functioning well. Then in integration testing, you have to check the interaction between the each of them. How are the models, the component, how are they interacting? The building process, how are they working? How is it functioning? So that's why here it says focus of testing is different at different level. It's different. The way you conduct tests on component testing is different from the way you conduct tests on integration, different from system testing and also acceptance testing. So with the help of this specification, we perform functional testing. With all this specification that I've mentioned, component specification and system specification, you can be able to do your functional testing. Functional testing consider the behavior of the system, and to test the behavior of the system, we use what we call black box testing. Yes, black box testing is all about the behavior of a system, the behavior of a software testing. So now here we have examples of functional testing, and I listed so many of them. There are a lot of them. So it depends on the organization. And also there's something I would like to say here. In conducting functional, these different examples I have listed here, which are known as unit testing, integration testing, system testing, sanity testing, smoke testing, interface testing, regression testing, beta/acceptance test, and so many of them that are stated there. So conducting tests, it depends on the products your company or the developer is building. It depends. it depends on the product before you could conduct each of these tests. It's not compulsory that such products you have to use all these things that have been listed here to conduct tests on it. It depends on any particular um, products that your company is producing. So for today, I'm not going to explain because each of them I will have to give explanation on each of them, but I'm not going into that. At least I've explained in unit testing. I've done explanation on integration testing, system testing. So the remainder of them, that will be in my next video. I'll treat more on that. Then there is another question that I would like to treat again. It said why we need to calculate functional testing. Why do we need to calculate functional testing coverage? Yes, we have to calculate functional testing coverage. We need to calculate functional coverage because the thoroughness of functional testing can be measured through functional coverage. This is a very, very, very important um, important teaching. Why we need to calculate functional coverage. We need to calculate functional coverage because the thoroughness of functional testing can be measured through functional coverage. And to calculate functional coverage, we have a particular process for that, which is known as coverage coverage equals to the total number of test cases tested slash the total number of test case times 100. Yes, that is how I will still go more into that. Let me just leave that for now. Then the next one that we're going to treat on is where can we perform functional testing. Functional testing is performed at all test level. For example, if you are at component level, then component specification is your requirement, and if you are at system level, then system specification is your requirement. I said it earlier. Then that is for functional testing. Then the next types of testing again that we have here is non-functional testing. Pardon me, I just want to add something here. The next one of test type that we have here is non-functional testing. Non-functional testing. This is defined as a type of software testing to check non-functional aspects like performance, usability, reliability, and so on. There are so many of types of testing that is example of non-functional testing. There are so many. I think they are almost up to 20 or more than. Still counting up to 100. So it depends on your organization or the kind of thing that you're producing. So we have so many of them that we have in examples of non-functional testing. So we are still on non-functional testing. Then it is designed to test the readiness of a system as per non-functional parameters which are never addressed by functional testing. During non-functional testing, we evaluate how well the system behaves. Yes, and an excellent example of non-functional testing will be to check how many people can simultaneously log into a software. That is the work of testing in a non-functional testing. You have to check out how well the system behaves, and also the example of checking how the system behaves. The area is known as the checking how many people can simultaneously log into a software. To check how well the system behaves if much people log into a particular application. I said yes, that is how these are the things that we check out in a non-functional testing. Non-functional testing evaluates characteristics of systems and software such as usability, performance, efficiency, or security, just like as I said before. And during non-functional testing, we evaluate how well the system behaves. as I said before, for you to know how well the system behaves is when many people log in into a particular application. That is when you know that you will check if the system can be able to carry much people when when many people log in into such system. So as a tester, you have to check out for all this in a software. Um, and when and where in can non-functional testing perform? When can it be performed? That is our next topic now. When can we perform non-functional testing? Non-functional testing is performed at all test level, just as the same thing like functional testing. You still do the same thing with non-functional testing. Is also performed at all test level, which I have mentioned before, known as unit testing, integration testing, system testing, and acceptance testing. As non-functional testing is performed at all test level, and delayed discovery of non-functional defect can be very extremely dangerous. Very extremely dangerous to the success of a project. When a software is being built and a tester discovered a non-functional defect at late hour or late period, it is very extremely dangerous to the success of such product. Because when it gets to the, let me say, when the product gets to the users without checking it or without proper test being done on such software, is going to cause a very extremely big problem to the organization. So it's very important that you check, as a tester, you check every area of such software to know if every part of the software is functioning, if many people log in on such software, using such software, can it be able to carry it? Because I've seen some system like when much people log in such particular area, people will start having problem, and the network and all that. Those are the examples of non-software testing defect. So as a tester, you have to check all those areas. When many people log in using such particular software, can it be able to carry much people? Can it be able to function properly? So these are the things you check out as a software tester. And the behavior of a non-functional testing is tested using the black box techniques. They are almost the same. These both software testing types, they are almost the same thing, functional and non-functional. They're almost the same thing. To test it, you use the black box testing techniques. The same thing in functional testing. You also use the boundary value analysis, which is known as BVA. Is also used to define the stress condition for performance testing. So that is for non-functional testing. Then how to calculate non-functional testing coverage? The same process that I use on functional testing, that is how you calculate it. This is it here. Coverage, number of test cases tested / total number of test cases times 100. So when you use it, that is how you get your proper accurate solution. Then note, to perform non-functional testing, I was supposed to give an example here, but when next I come online, I will explain more on that. Then note, to perform non-functional testing, we need a special knowledge, just like when I said before. I've said it before. Then here are the objectives of non-functional testing, which are known as: 1. Non-functional testing should increase usability, efficiency, maintainability, portability of the product. Then the 2 of it is helps to reduce production risks and costs associated with non-functional aspect of the product. Then the 3rd of it is optimize the way product is installed, set up, executes, managed and monitored. Collect and produce measurements and metrics of internal research and development. improve and enhance knowledge of products, behavior, and technology in use. The non-functional testing parameters. These are the where you see the examples of non-functional testing. The area you have to check when conducting software test when conducting a non-functional testing on a software, you have to check out the security. The parameter defines how a system is safeguarded against deliberate and sudden attack from internal and external source. This is tested via security testing. For you to set based on this test as a tester, based on this situation, you have to check out if someone, so that outsiders will not be able to hack into people's or the company or organization or whatever account, because I have seen some situation whereby some people complain that their account was hacked by different kind of from by people they don't know about. So a tester have to check out all those areas if if the account is secured, if the account or whatever software is being secured from outsiders. Then the next one is reliability. The extent to which any software system continuously performs the specified functions without failure. This is tested by reliability testing. The extent to which any software system continuously performs the specified function without failure. You have to check, as a tester, you check the reliability of such software. How does it function? How does it function when it's being in use? Does it function well without failure? Does it give problem to the people? Will it be able to function well when the users use such software? You have to check the reliability of such software. Then the next one is survivability. The parameter checks that the software system continues to function and recovers itself in case of system failure. This is checked by recovering testing. Then another one is availability. The parameter determines the degree to which user can depend on the system during its operation. This is checked by stability testing. Then another one is usability. This is with which the user can learn, operate, prepare, input and output through interaction with a system. This is checked by usability testing. You also have to test for usability testing of in a software to know if the user can be able to use the system, if it's easy for the user to be able to use the system anyhow he or she wants to use the particular software. Scalability. The term refers to the degree in which any software application can expand its processing capacity to meet an increase in demand. This is tested by scalability testing. Then another one is interoperability. This non-functional parameter checks a software system interface with other software systems. This is checked by interoperability testing. Then efficiency. The next one is efficiency. The extent to which any software system can handle capacity, quantity, and response time. The extent to which any software system can handle capacity, quantity, and response time. You have to check out for the efficiency. You have to check out for the usability, performance of the system, flexibility, portability. This one, flexibility. The term refers to the ease with which the application can work in different hardware and software configuration, like minimum RAM, CPU requirement. Portability, you have to test for the portability of this software, the flexibility of software to transfer from its current hardware or software environment, the flexibility of software to be transferred from its current hardware or software environment. So these are the things as a software tester you have to check out all this on a software. Reusability. It refers to a portion of the software system that can be converted for use in another application. If a system needs to be reused, that can be converted as well for use in another application. You check if it will be possible for such thing to be able to occur. You have to check out depending on what the customer or whoever it is, depending on what they want on a particular software. Then types of non-functional testing. We have the above listed is not the complete, as there are more than 100 types of testing and counting. So no need to worry. You will pick them up as you age in the testing industry. So you don't have to worry about these millions of types of software testing. There are so many of them, so many of them. So if you are working in the organization or anywhere, so it's a gradual thing. You pick them one after the other. You will see them each. It depends on the products that you are dealing with, because as you are going on, you're working on as a tester, you're growing, you're going higher, you are getting yourself in different kind of software. So these types of non-software testing, you be making use of them one after the other. So you don't have to be scared of the amounts they are here. There are still many of them that are there. So just continue to go through it, because in one way or the other you will make use of them one after the other. So also know that not all testing types applies to all projects, but depend on the nature and scope of the project. More on this in a later tutorial. As I said earlier, that it depends on the product that you're dealing with. That is where you use this different kind of testing. It depends on the products that you are dealing on. So we have performance testing, we have loading testing, stress testing, volume testing, security testing, capability testing, install testing, recovery testing, reliability testing, usability testing, compliance testing, and so many of them. Localization testing, so many of them that are out there. So you don't have to bother about yourself. The more you're growing, the more you're using every one of them on your work. Then let's see more details about this testing type. Types of software testing. We have alpha testing. We have the one we call alpha testing. This is whereby is a process whereby the prospective customers are being employed in the organization, whereby when they are invited on the organization, they check the software by themselves with the developers to know if the software will be able to serve them well. It is the most common type of testing used in the software industry. The objective of this testing is to identify all possible issues or defects before releasing it into the market or to the user. Alpha testing is carried out at the end of the software development phase, but before the beta testing, still minor design changes may be made as a result of such testing. Alpha testing is conducted at the developer's site. In-house virtual user environment can be created for this type of testing. Just like as I said before, alpha testing is being done in the development site in an organization. It's a process whereby the organization have to invite the customer to come to their organization to come and check the products by themselves, so that they will be sure if the products will be able to serve their own customers better. Then the second one of it is acceptance testing. Acceptance testing. These are the types of testing. We have so many of them. Acceptance testing. And acceptance testing is performed by the client and verifies whether the end-to-end the flow of the system is as per the business requirement or not, and if it has as the needs of the end user. Client accept the software only when all the features and functionalities work as expected. It is the last phase of the testing, after which the software goes into production. This is also called acceptance testing, UAT. Then we have another one, ad hoc testing. Here, the name itself suggests that this testing is performed on an ad hoc basis. For example, that is, with no reference to the test case and also without any plan or documentation in place for such type of testing. The objective of this testing is to find the defect and break the application by executing any flow of the application and the application or any random functionality. Then ad hoc testing is an informal way of finding defects and can be performed by anyone in the project. It is difficult to identify defects without a test case, but sometimes it is possible that defects found during ad hoc testing might not have been identified using existing test cases. The another one we have is accessibility testing. The aim of accessibility testing is to determine whether the software or application is accessible or disable people or not. So the aim of accessibility test is to determine whether the software or application is easy to access. To know if the software is easy to be used or not. That is all about for accessibility testing. Then another one here is beta testing. Beta testing is a form type of software testing which is carried out by the customer. Yes, this particular in this place, the product or the item, the software has to be sent to the customer in their own location. Then they have to check it if it's okay by them, prospecting customers. Then it is performed in the real environment before releasing the product to the market for the actual end users. Beta testing is carried out to ensure that there are no major failures in the software or product and it satisfies the business requirements from an end user's perspective. Beta testing is successful when the customer accepts the software. Yes, in beta testing, it is successful when after the customer is satisfied with the product and accept it. That is when it's successful. Usually, this testing is typically done by end users or others. It is the final testing done before releasing an application for commercial purpose. Usually, the beta version of the software or product release is limited to a certain number of users in a specific areas. So we have so many of them. We have back-end testing. We also have browser compatibility. We have so many of them that I have here. Is up to 20 if I'm not mistaken. Branch testing, comparison testing, compatibility testing, component testing, end-to-end testing, equivalence partitioning, example testing, exploratory testing, functional testing, graphical user interface, and so many of them. Gorilla testing, happy path testing, incremental integration testing, install/uninstall testing, integration testing, load testing, depending on what the product your organization is dealing with or you are dealing with. That is where you can use all these different kind of testing that I have here. So if you love this teaching, please go through this topic and go through them and learn more from this. I'm going to end my video here. See you in my next video. I remain your humble girl, Chinwandu Ndubisi. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you like my teaching. See you in my next video. Bye bye. Thank you. Hello. Today I'm going to teach the examples of functional testing. Last time I treated on types of functional testing and I explained what functional testing is all about. I said that during functional testing, as a tester, we check out the behavior of the whole system, and in doing that, you use what is called black box testing. So, and I mentioned different kind of testing examples, which are known as unit testing, integration testing, system testing, acceptance testing, load testing. Smoke testing. Load testing is on non-functional testing. Integration testing, system testing, acceptance testing, sanity testing, smoke testing, interface testing, regression testing, and then beta/alpha acceptance testing. So, and I said when I come next time that I'm gonna explain the meaning of each of them, how it's been done. And also the other of my video also said I will explain different kind of tools that I use in automation testing, but that will be in my next video. I'll do that. So today I'm going to explain what unit testing. Actually, I explained a bit of it last video, but today I'm going to explain each of them, give little explanation on each of them. Unit testing. A unit test is a way of testing a unit, the smallest pieces of code that can be logically isolated in a system. In most programming language, that is a function, a subroutine, a method or property. Modern versions of unit testing can be found in frameworks like GU unit or testing tools like Test Complete. Just like as I explained last time, that I said unit testing is also known as component testing, and this kind of testing is performed by the developers, the programmers. This is a testing that is performed on each individual component separately without interacting with other components. You do it separately without putting them together with other components. It is tested. In my last video, I mentioned that it is tested individually and it's been done by the developer. Then integration is known as the building process. Integration testing is a type of software testing which is performed on software to determine the flow between two or more modules. I also said it in my last video. By combining them, integration testing makes sure that the interaction between different components of the software is completed smoothly without any complication. So that is it. That is for integration test. It's a building process. It's a process whereby the modules interact individually. This is known when individual software modules are integrated logically and tested as a group. Here, a software tester tests it as a group. You don't have in component testing. You test it one after the other, but in integration, you have to test them as a group. That is all about for integration testing. Then system testing. System testing is a black box testing techniques performed to evaluate the complete system, the system compliance against specified requirements. In system testing, the functionalities of the system are tested from an end-to-end perspective. It includes both functional and non-functional testing. In system testing is a testing of a complete and fully integrated software product. A software that is being built completely is a test that is being done in order to know the behavior of the whole system. And in doing this, you use non-functional testing and functional testing because both of them, according to the definition of functional and non-functional, it has to do with the behavior of the system. You have to check the whole behavior of the system if everything is functioning well. And in doing this, you use what they call black box testing. Then the next one is sanity testing. These ones are under functional testing. Non-functional testing still have examples on its own, but today I'm just going to treat on the examples of functional testing. Then in my next video, I will do non-functional testing. Sanity testing. Sanity testing is a subset of regression testing. After receiving the software that is being built, sanity testing is performed to ensure that the code changes introduced are working as expected. Those code that the developer, maybe there are some issue that might arise on a software that needs to, maybe defect is being found or problem or any issue. After checking it and the root causes of the problem, and the software developer do some changes on such particular software, changes. The testing is a checkpoint to determine if testing for the build can proceed or not. A tester have to check if such problem has been fixed in order for the production to continue or not. So sanity testing is a subset of regression testing, just like a regression testing. After receiving the software build, sanity testing is performed to ensure that the code changes introduced are working as expected. And this testing is a checkpoint to determine if testing for the build can proceed or not. They have to check if the changes that have been done on the software, if it's still working or not, or if other area has been affected. So this kind of testing is like regression testing, and they have to check it if everything is well. Then if they can continue the the production or not. Then the next one is smoke testing. Smoke testing are a subset of test cases that cover the most important functionality of a component or system, used to aid assessment of whether main functions of the software appears to work correctly. Smoke testing is also done by testers before accepting a build for further testing. Smoke testing is a type of software testing in which the most important functions are tested to ensure that they work properly. The most important functions are tested to ensure that they work properly. It is also done by tester. It is done by tester and before accepting a build for further testing. Smoke testing is a type of software testing in which the most important functions are tested to ensure that they work properly. Smoke testing, also known as build verification testing, comprises a set of non-exhaustive tests that may verify that the build is suitable enough for further testing. So that is all about for smoke testing. Then the next one is the interface testing. Interface testing is defined as a software testing type which varies whether the communication between the two different software systems is done correctly. That is the work of interface testing. You check out if the different software system if they are communicating correctly, whether the communication between between the two different software systems is done correctly. A connection that integrates two components is called interface. Yes, a a a a, a yes, a connection that integrates two components is called interface. Connection that integrates, we all know what the meaning of integrate is all about. That integrates two components. A connection that integrates two components is called interface. Then the seventh one is regression testing. Regression testing varies that recent code changes haven't altered or destroyed the already existing functionality of a system. Regression testing examples include iteration regression and full regression, and both can be covered with manual and automated test cases. In regression testing, we check, just like for example, if a tester finds a defect on a software, he informed the developer that I have found a defect on your software. Then the developer have to check out for the software, check the root causes of the defect, and when he finds it, he will fix it. He will fix it and he will send it back to the tester. So the tester have to recheck the software to know if the changes did not affect other area of the software, and to also know if the defect that was fixed, if a defect that was found is fixed actually. So that is the work of regression testing. Then the last one is beta acceptance testing. I explained in my last video what beta testing is all about. Beta testing in organization, developing organization of software. After the software is being developed, they send it to their customer, prospective customer. They send it to their place for them to check the software if the software actually meets their requirement, if it's okay for them. If they are okay with the software, they'll go ahead and buy the business. Then acceptance testing. Acceptance testing, a testing technique performed to determine whether or not the software system has met the requirement specification. Meaning of this is that just like when a customer bring a requirement to the organization that he or she needs a product that looks like this, then after building such products and everything, and the testing has been done and everything, the customer have to check to know if actually the software meets his or her requirements, what he or she wanted from the what he or she wanted. If is it does the software satisfy his or her want, and if the customer is okay with the software, he will accept it, and they will accept the contract. So that is all about for acceptance testing. The main purpose of this test is to evaluate the system compliance with the business requirement and verify if it has met the required criteria for delivery to end users. If the software if the software meet up with the requirement, if there is okay, then it can deliver to the end users. So that is all about the examples of functional testing. Then I think in my last video I also explained the examples of non-functional testing. I explained that. Then in my next video I'm going to explain the tools on automation testing. It has different tools that they use in testing each, just like these ones I mentioned here, the examples of functional testing. For you to do this interface, smoke testing, integration testing, unit testing, regression testing, they have different tools to perform such work. So that you'll be able to know which tool is used for which one is used for which one. That is my next lecture. I will end it here, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you.